Hello, my name is OXSN, and today I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for a long time. This is not premeditated, but I know a lot about it. Like, I've spoke about it before, it's nothing super new, but long story short, the mission that I would like to pursue in my research and endeavours in life, and I'd like to encourage you guys, if you have any sources or anything, comment down below and reach out to me, please, if you have any experience. This is also going to be a message to many of the people I've done podcasts with in the past. I'd like to reach out to those potentially again, but I particularly would like to direct and hone in on the question of, what's the best way to frame it? I think I would say alternative lifestyle, but it's kind of like how they say alternative medicine, but when they mean alternative medicine, they mean like actual medicine, because the conventional Western medicine, I mean, it depends, obviously, it's not black and white, that's for sure, but I don't want to ramble on about loads of random shit. I just want to hone in on what I mean by alternative lifestyles. Essentially is like, there are other ways to live there are radically different cultures, and those have been around for a minute. You know, I've spoke about this a lot, and it's kind of ironic because I've never actually really left England much at all. I've never really been abroad in my life. So what do I mean exactly? Quick time, I'll break it down and give some examples. Ayahuasca retreats is the first thing that caught my eye. I'd done a reaction video about a year ago while I was on like 7 grams of magic mushrooms. I'd done like a really long live stream, and I reacted to a testimonial or a review of an ayahuasca retreat, and I think the man's name was Seth. You can still find this, go look on my Rumble, since YouTube fucking terminated me for exposing the plandemic, the scamdemic. And Seth says this is clearly the way that we're supposed to live, and my jaw was dropping the whole time, because there was like this expansion that kind of happened coincide with my spiritual awakening, and is a facet that you can likely encounter, is some form of culture shock, but especially like when I saw the like there's like this inherent intuition in me. I'll tell you what just actually sparked the interest. Well, actually no, I thought I was going to film a video, and then I was like contemplating the topic, and then I researched and watched this video while doing the dishes just now. I searched Doomsday Prepper because that was just on my mind. I know Mr. Traumatic talks about being a Doomsday Prepper, and I seem to be getting into a lot more of like grounded personal development that requires like long-term investing and consistent execution and discipline, etc. And that coincides with just like getting my house in order and just building a wiser infrastructure for my survival and my future, etc. Anyway, I found this video, if you can see it, Meet the Nomad Prepping for Doomsday with Sheep, by Insider Business on YouTube, and it's a bit of a madness, I can't lie. This guy walks around with sheep, and the sheep eat the grass, and then, or whatever, and the stuff that we can't really eat, and then obviously it produces milk, and then most of his diet is I think it's milk or whatever, and he cheese and things, and he eats animals. He's quite like there's a tendency to, like, that I kind of nearly fell into of seeing like, oh cringe, like this guy seems weird and that, but he really seemed, I'm sure in some aspects he could be strange, because he's out here like literally eating raccoons and shit, just like with like this weird makeshift fucking car that he's made. But he's like, I don't know, a lot of the stuff he was saying I actually resonated with him. Yeah, and then this is something that like you could just buy like these solar panels, and I feel like it's wise to do that. Like, if you listen to Alex Jones' fucking InfoWars podcast, that he's just trying to basically wake people up to the New World Order, etc., and the tyranny on the way. There's adverts like, the New World Order is coming, buy solar panels now. Or there's other adverts telling you like you can buy gold and silver and shit. It's like, so I guess that's probably partly why I've been led down this rabbit hole a bit. Not that I'm 100% for Alex Jones, but I mean, it's raising the questions. I don't know what the future holds, and he's been right about things in the past. So I feel like there's a lot gonna change in terms of some form of, how can I frame it without people just brushing me off as crazy? There's going to be a cultural transformation. I can feel tension in society, and I think many people, it's not just me who's thinking like this, there's a lot of us. You see that milk you're drinking, that contains a lot of pus. I won't start rapping again. I'm really trying to like make my videos better, because I've just been so like on a whim with them. But anyway, that's not what this isn't exactly what I'm trying to research here, but it's just interesting that, so there's that, and then I could show you the ayahuasca retreats. I'm sure you're somewhat familiar, but it's just, long story short, like there's just fucking, it's like just a tribe in the Amazon, yeah. And I'm not saying it's all around like easy. But it's like, no, that's far from what I'm saying. But there's just drastically alternative lifestyles, like where they don't even have money. They grow on their land and they eat it amongst the community. The climate over where they are is completely different. The air is completely different. The what is deemed cringe is completely different. You know, it's like radically different culture. To me, that was always like a very interesting like loophole. I'm always looking for potential plot twists in reality. Maybe this stems from the fact that I used to be really depressed, and I don't want that to be the case. So I'm like seeking for a question that I can exploit. Like, how do I not know that? That when I die in this incarnation, or when this body dies, that I won't wake up and they'll go, welcome back, mission complete, you saved the planet, good job, that's why we sent you there. But there's but I'm not, obviously this sounds retarded, yeah, but how do I know that I didn't do that? I don't. I mean, how can I ever be sure? I'm not saying that that's like, you know, obviously it's all just form and it's just a dream, I guess, but I mean, there's many questions of that nature. But anyway, I'm going off again. And then, so yeah, the ayahuasca retreats. Obviously, look, I've done a podcast with this geezer, Adeptus Psychonautica, or Rob. He's done a lot, a beginner's guide to ayahuasca retreats. I've actually made a highlight of him on my Instagram. If you get me on Instagram, OXSN. I've done a podcast with Mr. Nature and Miss Sunshine, and this was when I was going through the phase of realising that maybe reality and this planet is more expansive than I once thought, because I was going through like some radical open-minded awakening things in many dimensions. But I actually done a podcast with Mr. Nature and Miss Sunshine, and in that podcast, I think I actually began both of those. That's what I mean, I've talked about this already. I began both of those podcasts. I believe my first question was, like, I heard on Mr. Nature's channel that he was living on a fucking mountain in Nepal for free. And you wake up and it literally looks like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And there's a weed plant just growing all the time, so that's free. Some like shaman just let them live there for free. Some like psychedelic man in the mountain. So they just had their own bit. And again, there was like down the mountain there was cows and things, and they were just like a perpetual source of milk and things of this nature because they ate the perpetual grass. You see what I'm saying? I like it stems from an intuition that I think that we might be in a grid of like wealth extraction. Like why do we live so foolishly? Like it's not just me. It's like there's like I'm still young. I'm only 20, yeah, but I got sent to the government school when I was born. Obviously fake education and that. And my family was always very poor, and there was always really low quality food that poisons you in the house, etc. And like everything is so like we gotta get this bread. And then as I got older, I moved to this location, which is less of a grid of alleyways and concrete. And then I see just like, just blackberries growing around, and I'm like, and then just not only that, just the stuff I'm listening to, and this, it's not just, I'm sure there's like trade-offs and things, but what I'm saying is that this is far from the only way to live. I'm talking self-sufficiency. Because what is the reality of most modern Western people? Unless you really make it. Of course you can make... I'm not saying like rule out money. I don't know how easy... I know it's not black and white. That's one of the main things I've learned through being black and white and fuck around and find out. And I did learn that everything's not black and white. Everything's very nuanced, multifaceted and diverse and complex. Well, it depends. Bro, I got apparently those rings under your eyes is heavy metals. Why do they look so fucked right now? Is it the angle of the screen? Sorry. But yeah, look, I was just growing up, yeah. I was asleep through my childhood. I was making decisions. I wasn't even awake. Like, I mean, when I'm really young, like, you know how your consciousness just kind of emerges and you just seem to just like, the further you go back, it's just hazy. Well, yeah, not saying I'm not responsible for it, like as if I wasn't there to, but long story short, yeah, I just didn't really understand life. I don't know what is responsible. Like, I mean, when I was young, I was just going through school, and I just didn't like school. I was just like, I thought all the teachers were dickheads, so I didn't really engage with the system. I could only be at a school for about a year before I just couldn't fucking deal with being in school anymore. And I regret it in a sense, because I could have been more strategic. But like, it's because I was on sugar and forced to like sit still in this. I was proper like ADHD, and like school's dead, man. They don't like. I don't want to be in that fucking toxic system, bro. And they teach you bullshit. Anyway, I remember when I was like in year 6 or some shit, probably like 12 years old, if that. And they're teaching you the food pyramid, and that's just literally not even true. It's like a lie, and it's just causing disease. So why the fuck would I? Anyway, I don't mean to go on. You can research the quotes by Rockefeller and that if you want to understand why the food is fake, the medicine's fake, the education system is fake. They want you fighting with the thoughts in your head all day long so you never get a break. They don't want you meditating in the sunshine with big fruit sitting by the lake. They want you dumbed down so you listen to Drake. They want the teenagers to all self-flake. They ain't gonna give, they're always gonna take. They want you in Asda's buying a steak. They ain't gonna share one slice of the cake. They ain't even gonna follow the rules they make. They ain't even gonna follow the rules they bring on the 1-4. You better know that I'm king. They killed the indigenous and made us all prisoners, and that's the real reason I do my thing. Like, beat the matrix, defeat the matrix, stand up, don't take a seat in the matrix. You gotta watch what you eat in the matrix, can't touch processed meat in the matrix. Life ain't fair in the matrix, drink booze if you're there in the matrix. You gotta learn self-care in the matrix, always gonna need Tupperware. Yo, come to your party, empty your head like ramen Namahashi. I'm pulling out parsley, rolling with the electric army. Babylon sending the whole world army. Don't want Gucci, don't wear Versace, man I gotta go deep, yeah, to Samadhi. Meditate every day and do Pilates, so don't offer BK on your car keys. I don't need to watch, I'm the watcher. I don't drink coffee and Costa. Nature's right here, I never lost her, so you won't see me sipping on a Foster. I don't need to watch when I'm watching, I got powers like Austin. God's right here, I never lost him. Merge with the one, I don't care what it's costing. Like, sorry, that was a bad habit, but see, now I don't even know what I was saying. That was by Inspector Reg, I didn't write that. But I feel like I need to stop doing these videos on a whim because I do stuff like that. Like, I think my mind is just too scattered to fucking do a video in a take without just being a fucking sporadic person, and then I just forget what I'm saying. I plan, I believe, to make my content more structured and edited in the future, but I don't think it's the wisest move right now. I'm trying to just like renovate because at the end of the day all I do is talk, like, so at the minute. But however, that video that I showed you of that guy, I'm trying to integrate more into, I want to actually show you things in the world, what I've done, what I've accomplished, etc. I don't want to just speak shit and sit here while my room looks like a mess, but I'm getting there. I've been getting into Hamza a lot more recently. If you want to understand the trajectory that I'm going on a bit, look at Hamza. I know he's not the wisest in every dimension. I really do rate a lot of his stuff though, especially just a grounded personal development talk for the most part. Alright. So yeah, rainbow gatherings are interesting. They're like festivals that move, and it's just run on donations, and you just go there and live there for a few days, or so I'm told. I know Psychedelic Actualization has been on these. I done a podcast with him also, and he actually was, I believe, beginning the process of training to be a shaman in a ayahuasca retreat, but then he got spooked on an ayahuasca trip, and he said in his own words, like, he doesn't know if he's actually up for the full pursuit, or like that's what he was asking himself at that time. And I thought, come on bruv, but I took 12 grams of psilocybin Liberty Cap magic mushrooms not long ago, and I understand. I was led there thinking, I know why Mr. Traumatic told people not to take them. Like, on his story he said to the youth, don't take them. It's iffy. I understand why he said that, because I made a video saying Mr. Traumatic saved my life, and then he's like, he's a rapper, and that I stumbled upon when I was young, and then obviously if I go off the rails, I'm doing a disservice to him and the community. So I feel it's my responsibility to now take action and become deeply integrated. Because at the end of the day, if I go off the rails, obviously people are going to go, well, you know, the psychedelic guy gone off the rails. People know me a lot because I'm just loud. I am a super advocate and proponent of the psychedelic revolution. I swear down, but not just that, just in general, just like the development of, in particular, young men. But I just like seeing people actually like take control a bit and be, even just in like grounded personal development sense. Like, I just want to see my people a bit more empowered. And who knows where it could lead in the future, and that coincides with the big picture of what this video is about, and it's just researching alternative lifestyles, eco-villages. Again, Traumatic said, what's he say? My dream is to build an eco-village. That's why I'm stacking up the peas to buy acres. The language of life is peace, love and unity. We don't need no translators. And in general, our disconnect is like responsible for chronic illness. We need to get away from Klaus Schwab and the World Health Organization and Bill Gates and it's a tricky one. But we need to get out of Babylon, basically. The definition of Babylon, long story short, is really like Western governed culture. This like concrete fucking overly complex like web, the social matrix, and everyone's so brainwashed here. Can I just say that? Well, like that's the thing. Like, it is factual. It's scary when you awaken. Not that again. I'm sure I'll learn that I'm ignorant in the future, maybe a bit, but everyone is so fake here. I can't lie. I don't mean to sound like, but I don't know what to say, bro. Like everyone is like got no motive to like improve. Have you noticed that? Or is that just me? I mean, I know some people do, but I mean, to be fair, people are making moves. And I can't say much. I don't want to talk about this anyway. I'm getting there, hopefully. But yeah, that's it. So if you have any sources of information, please let me know if you are. But I basically, what I want to do is actually bring this to be one of the main facets of my name, my brand, my YouTube, etc. Well, I basically want to. I said to myself the other day, I have a lot to prove. We have a lot to prove as the spiritual community. As I said earlier, if I went off the rails, I would obviously be some form of a disservice. For example, a good friend of mine, he got really into spirituality, and we actually grew up through school. We had the same kind of interest all the way, like a few of them, throughout the years, and then we both landed on spirituality, and it was deep. I made a video about it. It wasn't maybe the best video. I just took a minute to talk, like I am probably on this one, to get the fucking point across. But he took a 3.5 of magic mushrooms and he committed suicide while tripping. There was a very large sword in his bedroom with him, so obviously we know about setting. I had visions of stabbing myself. If you go, it's my most promoted like video. I have a really bad trip report. Just search OXSN bad trip. It was a 7-gram extreme terror suicide trip. Is called something like that. And you literally get trapped in the spiral realms, and you like it depends. But I think we're both young, and it doesn't happen to me now that I'm more responsible with it. But like, so basically, you know, how did everyone see that? He got into psychedelics. He went really deep into awakening and spirituality. He was reading the Kabbalion, and and then he killed himself. And that was not expected. I would never advocate it. I know how slippy it does get with deep psychedelic experiences. Like, I've had experiences where I'm convinced I'm dead multiple times. Like, you take it, I don't want to believe like in it, but it's like it's fucking very, very strange what happens on these compounds. And again, the ayahuasca retreat, if you're not familiar, is a psychedelic medicine in the jungle. And the Mr. Traumatic that I referenced earlier, he has a song about ayahuasca called Waska. If you search that, then that's a very educational song that will enlighten you with symbiotic frequencies straight to your head top on this one. So I'm interested because I'm interested in freedom, and intuitively I feel I know that Aubrey Marcus promotes a phrase that he got from Charles Einstein. Both legends, and they've enlightened me. Also check out Aubrey Marcus's podcast, etc. for some hella psychedelic awakeningness. Side note, you should be listening to extensive podcasts a lot. They will make you a knowledgeable human. The quote from Charles Einstein is, "The more beautiful world that our hearts know is possible." And I couldn't have said it better myself. I feel like we're just very like, why the fuck are there like no gardens? Like why do we ship in all of our food from abroad? Why is Bill Gates deploying genetically modified mosquitoes from a helicopter in Florida and New York, was it? I'm not sure if I'm correct on those locations. And why did like almost every world government, or like why was there like a synchronized vaccine mandate that like gave children microitis and actually killed many people? It even says on the government websites these days, like, the COVID vaccine has killed thousands of people. I don't know how many. I know a lot of people, they're not, and I actually see it with people just around the public. It seems people are actually waking up, and this is why I'm making this video now. I'm hopefully going to try and do a talk of this nature, of this quality-ish, maybe just on a whim, like every day for a long time. I'm going to really try and up my game. I really want to develop myself a lot now. I'm going to go into a period of deep work, hopefully, taking a more grounded approach to development. What was I saying? Yeah, it's things like, side note, I think Leo Gura, I think he needs to check his bias against conspiracy theories and Babylon. I think he needs to, he doesn't know why he's ill. He's tried everything. You literally live in a city, don't you? I don't know, actually, to be fair. Maybe I should, I don't know. I need to stop bringing irrelevant people into this conversation, kind of. Yeah, he's quite Western. It's tricky. But yeah, so I was the reason I said that is because just before I hit play again is, there's a video recently, I believe it's in New York. There's, at 6 a.m, there's police driving through the city, and with the lights on and a megaphone, and they're driving through the city when it's dark, in the morning before sunrise, and they are announcing, "The city is now applying pesticides to stop the threat of the Neil something virus. Please go inside to reduce contact with this pesticide." And they're literally and then if you research, as the video was documenting also, besides this footage, is the side effects of this pesticide they're spraying to stop the spread. But the thing is about stopping the spread, yeah, you want to know the main thing, that when it comes to fucking off with this culture, yeah, clearly, obviously the best of both worlds will be genius, and again, it's not black and white, but why did when there was a health crisis, yeah, a pandemic, whatever, why did none of the governments or anyone say, or anyone around me say, but it's not just that people don't say it, it's that people actually oppose it, is that I tell people, if you don't want to get ill, if you don't want to be vulnerable, etc., of course there are exceptions, but eat real food, exercise, get sunlight, contact the earth and the grass with your feet, breathe deeper, maybe do yoga, swim, positive affirmations, The placebo effect? The placebo effect? Or maybe the real effect, I don't know. It's a crystal. I made a video about that. I basically tell myself that this crystal is good for me. I found it on my desk and I was like, yes, that's good. Because like when I don't have it, I wish that I did have it. I didn't used to do that. I used to thought, oh, that's like, you know, there's no scientific evidence. But I just believe that this is like good for me. And like if I walk around and tell myself that this is going to make me feel like cool and big, tough, masculine man, then it basically does do that. So you just hold it and say, this is even, and you just make yourself believe in it, basically, and it works. So yeah. But yeah, what's that lyric by Inspector Veg? Said they want to keep us alive, but didn't mention the electric plants. That's non-compliance. The lockdowns ain't backed by science. So yeah, I don't know. We need to research this deeper. It's a deep topic, mateos, but yeah, get on researching this for me, because we gotta fucking increase the volume of the birds. That's my bird impression. What do you think? Alright, I'll leave now. Take really deep breaths right now. Just sit there. Make sure make sure you don't have anything hard around you. It's actually dangerous. Just go. Just really. It only takes literally 10 seconds. That's far out, bro.